It is good to be together to find grounding in our community and our values, to metabolize what has happened in our world, to connect, to listen, to share, to deepen, to catch joy. And in doing so, to nourish our roots, to fortify ourselves and our community, to tend the soil we grow in, so that the anxiety, fear, division, hate, and oppression cannot flourish here, and so that we can continue to live love and justice ever more fully and fiercely into this world. So may it be. Andrew?
This is a new hymn for our congregation that we have not sung yet, so Xingwei will play it in its entirety once before we sing together. Please rise in body or in spirit.
As we sing of hope and joy today, some know only anguish and despair. How can we lift our voices in this way while some have pain and misery to spare? If a crumbling world we would renew, we must sing no ordinary song. Peals from a noisy gong will never do. In every breath, compassion must be strong. Let this song our greatest hopes contain. Laughter of a well-fed child, its tune moves over every heartbeat, its refrain, its harmony from peaceful cities hewn. Sing of joy while hammering each nail. Sing of hope while pulling every weed. So shall we sing together and prevail. May every alleluia bear a seed.
Good morning. I'm Jenna at Montgomery. I'm a worship associate, and I'm a white woman in my mid-40s. I use she, her pronouns, and we've entered my favorite blanket as clothing weather, so I'm wearing a long woolen shawl. The flame of our chalice is a beacon to those of us who seek sanctuary, who seek truth, who seek hope. Let its bright fire call us deeper into worship together. Please join me in saying our chalice lighting words as Simo lights our chalice. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the wonder and mystery of this great gift. So let us now kindle the flame of our liberal religious heritage and renew our covenant of mutual love and care. Love is our doctrine, the quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to serve those in need. This we promise, this we covenant with life and one another. In the Jewish tradition of tikkun olam, we inherit a fractured world, a world in pieces. For many, the executive orders signed this week shattered more, breaking fragile protections for our planet, our health, our transgender community, our efforts at honoring our beloved diversity and building needed equity. Tikkun olam, our calling, is to mend those pieces, to heal the world. No one said it would be easy. Despair may just be our greatest threat. So this week, we light our additional candle for justice and healing to call us into courage. Like the trees in this deep midwinter, we may need to retreat, to sleep, to restore our roots and nourish what is most essential, to gather into our bravest selves, so that in the coming spring, we can burst forth. As I light this candle, let us hold silence together.
New people being welcomed into the covenant of membership is a special time in the life of a congregation, a time to rejoice in the gifts of this spiritual community. Today, Victoria Hewitt, who's our membership coordinator, and Jeff Wahlberg, president of our board of trustees, will join me in leading this new member covenanting ceremony. Victoria and Jeff, will you please make your way up here? Unitarian Universalism is a non-creedal faith. No one needs to assent to a statement of belief in order to find membership with us. Instead, it is our covenants that bind us together. As a covenantal religious community, we're defined by a shared set of values and ways of being that we choose to affirm and promote, which includes supporting one another along our diverse spiritual journeys. Being defined by covenant means that Unitarian Universalist congregations are defined by love and the ways we're seeking to live love and justice more fully into the world. That's because covenants are values-based vows that are a way of saying what we want to amplify in the world and how we want to be in relationship with one another. They're a way of saying to whom and for what we want to be accountable, and often some of the fundamental principles of our actions. They can also tell us about what we aspire to be together. They invite us to be compassionate, curious, humble, trusting, and trustworthy. Our covenants and what we covenant for fundamentally define us as Unitarian Universalists. They give us space to engage in our spiritual work that defines this as a faith community, a congregation, a church. And so this is a momentous occasion because it gives each of us the opportunity to renew our own commitments to living the covenant to the fullest and best that we can. Victoria?
Good morning. Each of the people that we are celebrating this morning have taken the time and care to learn about Unitarian Universalism and this congregation. They have attended sessions to learn the history and values of Unitarian Universalism. They have learned about our history in the Iowa City area and the broader history. They have attended a variety of groups or activities, the opportunities that we have to offer. They've attended a Pathways to Membership orientation and selected activities that were meaningful to each of them to learn about and engage with UUS. And they've heard the importance of supporting our congregation with their time, energy, and financial resources. Each person has affirmed our values and our principles and said yes to the call of our mission to serve one another and the world. Each understands that our faith is a lifetime search for truth and meaning, and that joining this congregation affirms a willingness to continue to grow as people, both emotionally and spiritually. When each of them signs the membership book, they are committing to the principles of Unitarian Universalism and to the values, mission, and vision of this congregation. I will now call our new members' names, and I will invite them to come forward, signing the membership book as they hear their name. Fran Scott. Ruth Appleton, and she'll be joined by her children, Cece and Rory. Come on up, Rory. Cece's here. Good.
Fran, Ruth, Cece, and Rory, may this be your religious and spiritual home, and may you be woven into the intricate fabric that is this community's life together. Here you will be cared for and will be asked to care for others. We welcome your presence among us and ask that you join us in the life and mission of this congregation. In the presence of those gathered with us in person and online, I now ask you to state your intentions. Will you travel together with us in a covenant of mutual care and love, help us be a welcoming and inclusive community, and share in the joys and responsibilities of membership? If so, please say we will. And will each one of you join us joyfully and as fully as you're able in our shared ministry of serving others as we seek to be a welcoming and spiritually diverse home, a place where we act on our values to honor the earth, advocate for racial and social justice, foster deep connections, and embrace the ongoing quest for meaning? Please say, we will.
Where am I? We want everyone to be able to welcome these new members. I invite the members of the congregation to say, we will, when I indicate. So now, will you, ongoing members, joyfully welcome these persons into our congregation, invite them into our shared ministries, be open to their unique gifts and wisdom, and covenant to travel with them and each other in friendship, respect, and love? Members of the congregation, please say, we will. Do you renew your promise to travel together with one another in a covenant of mutual care and love, to help us be a welcoming and inclusive community, and to participate in our shared service to one another and the world as fully as you are able? If so, please say, we do.
We do.
Ruth and Fran, and Cece and Rory. And joining the Unitarian Universalist Society is a powerful and transforming event in your life. Membership comes with both gifts and responsibilities. Within this community of seekers, you'll be challenged to grow in spirit and to live out our UU principles in your lives within this congregation and beyond it. Ours is a shared ministry. You'll be called to offer the fullness of who you are as individual persons in service of our mutual promises to love and care for each other. Our deep hope is that you will open your hearts to accept the gifts of spiritual community and know that you do not journey alone. As we end this ceremony, as a symbol of the light and life and joy and perspective that you each bring to this community, we'll invite each of you to drop a stone into the bowl of water. After that, in honor of signing the membership book, you'll receive a rose of friendship. Like life and like the rose, the journey of spiritual community may be thorny at times, and our hope is that your journey among us will unfold as sweetly as the petals of a rose. We're glad you've chosen to make your spiritual home with us. Welcome. Please drop your stone and receive your gifts.
Each week when they head to classes, our children light a lantern as a symbol of love and hope that goes with them as they explore our faith. Children, youth, and teachers, please come forward as Alex lights our lantern from our chalice. And we'll all join in singing Be Open as they head to religious education. The words are on the screen.
Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Aye, 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 aye,
My name is Bridget Laughlin. I'm the ministerial intern here at UUS. I use she, her pronouns. I am a short, fat, white woman with long brown hair and glasses and wearing a green dress. Our congregation is made up of many people and many communities. We gather in many ways to learn, sing, laugh, share meals, try new things, and help repair our beautiful, broken world. Together, we create a community that nurtures us as we seek to live more fully and fiercely into this world. This morning, Mary Loesch and Tracy John Sargent are here to share about the equitable local microlending initiative that UUS is participating in with the Multicultural Development Center of Iowa.
Good morning. I'm Mary Loesch. I am a, lots of words, but I'll just use short 65-year-old, but very loud white woman. And those who know me are laughing. I'm filling in for Andy Douglas. I'm so sorry he can't be here, but he is under the weather today. So I've been working with Andy for a few months, along with Sally Hartman and others, on a new initiative that Andy has spearheaded here at UUS. Over the last couple of years, Andy and others began to see needs in the community for small business loans and emergency loans. The Equitable Local Micro Lending Initiative, that we refer to as ELLI, was founded as a new UUS initiative that offers low-interest microloans to people who may have challenges borrowing in traditional ways. We'll also be offering smaller loans to individuals who have short-term emergency needs. And we're extremely fortunate today to have Tracy John Sargent with us, and we've been working with him. His organization is facilitating these loans for us to get them out into the community. Through MDCI, he's been doing this kind of work in the community for several years, reaching out to underrepresented people with microloans, providing STEM training for young people, and business trainings, among other things. And he's also just an extremely thoughtful, dedicated, and very wonderful person, and we're delighted that we have him with us today. So I'm happy to turn it over to Tracy John, and I'll be around after the service. Not sure if Tracy John will, but I will be, and we'll be happy to talk more then. So welcome, Tracy John.
Good morning. My name is Tracy John Sargent. I guess following with the trend, I am a 6'2" black man. I don't describe myself as heavy, but you might think I'm a big guy. I am the founder and executive director of the Multicultural Development Center of Iowa. We started in 2017, initially as a couch surfer nonprofit. We didn't have a home of our own, thanks to some generosity of people in our community. We have 3 locations now, and as Mary has said, we provide STEM training, business training, but what we're most excited about are our community partners like the UUS. When I had a chance to meet Andy, I think this is 5 months ago now. It's taken us to get to this point, but they clearly have shared vision for what we can do to help our community, aspiring entrepreneurs, current small business owners, by providing traditional loans that they are not able to get through a typical bank. I'm sorry. It can be frustrating sometimes. Our whole goal really is to remove barriers. That is really why my organization exists. And without the help of partners like yourselves, it's very difficult to do that. But we've been in this game for a number of years. We provided about a dozen small business loans so far. And we're very excited about the ELLI fund that we've been able to establish thanks to the generosity of many members in this community and this congregation. So I'm apparently just supposed to keep the 3 to 4 minutes, which is hard for me to do. I like to talk, which is why Mary and I get along so well. But at the end of the day, I'm really happy to be here and to share space with you. Appreciate your support and the shared vision and the generosity that you've given my organization and the trust to be able to be good stewards of that money and make sure that it goes to good use. So thank you.
Nurturing gratitude and how we understand and express interdependence is part of how we live into our Unitarian Universalist faith. As we enter into a time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer, we acknowledge the joys and sorrows of our congregation. We do this by dropping stones into a bowl of water, symbolically immersing our personal joys and sorrows into the flow of life's joys and sorrows. The water surrounds and holds the stone, just as we are surrounded and held by the love and support of this congregation. For those who would like to share their joys or sorrows in conversation in a smaller venue, the Pastoral Care Associates will be leading a Compassionate Connection Circle in the Walnut Room immediately after today's worship service. It's just over there. These circles, which happen on the 2nd and 4th Sundays, are opportunities to share with and support each other in our lives' journey. If you're participating in our worship service elsewhere, you may wish to meditatively hold a stone, wash your hands, or meditate on an object near you. And now, if you're in the sanctuary and you feel called to do so, please come forward, take a stone from the basket, and place your stone in the water as we sing together.
a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love.
This is Reverend Diana's last worship service with us before she goes on a 3-month sabbatical. This congregation has been greatly blessed by her hard work and dedication in the past 5 years, and it is time for her to take a well-deserved break for rest and renewal. As she goes forth today, I invite you to join me in sending her off with a blessing. Reverend Diana, if you could come forward. Members of the congregation, if you feel comfortable, I invite you to extend your hands toward Reverend Diana as we say a blessing together. After each section that I read, I invite you to join with the words, "We bless you with love and send you forth in peace." Reverend Diana, as you prepare to step into this sacred time of sabbatical, we gather to bless you and release you with love. May this sabbatical time be one of rest, renewal, and rediscovery. We bless you with love and send you forth in peace. May you find stillness in the quiet moments and joy in the unexpected. May you be nourished by the beauty of the world and connect with the wisdom found in the stillness of rest. We bless you with love and send you forth in peace. May you trust this time apart to guide you deeper into wholeness. Know that while you are away, we will carry the work of this community forward with faith and care. We bless you with love and send you forth in peace. Go now, held in love of this congregation and the strength of your calling. May this sabbatical renew you in ways beyond your imagining, and may you return to us safely, refreshed, and restored. We send you forth in love and send you forth in peace. Oops, sorry. May it be so.
I use she, her pronouns. I am a worship associate in training. And our reading will be How to Survive the Apocalypse by Reverend Sean Parker Dennison. Reverend Sean Parker Dennison is the minister of the Rogue Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Alongside his congressional ministries, Reverend Sean Parker Dennison has served the Unitarian Universalist Association on the Journey Toward Wholeness Transformation Committee, served on the board of Star King School for the Ministry, and co-funded Trust, the transgender religious professional UUS Together. He also wrote Breaking and Blessing, a meditation manual from which our reading comes. First, learn to listen. Not only for enemies around corners and hidden places, but for the faint footsteps of hope and the whisper of resistance. Hone your skills, aim your heart towards kindness, and stockpile second chances. Under the weight of destruction, we will need the strong shelter of forgiveness and the deeper wells that give the sweet water of welcome. We have a place for you. When the world ends, we must not add destruction to destruction, not accept a beggar's bargain, to fight death with more death. In order to survive the apocalypse, any apocalypse at all, we have to give up the counterfeit currency of self-sufficiency, the mistaken addiction to competition, the lie that the last to die has somehow survived. Thank you.
In January of 2017, as I was finishing seminary, I traveled to Myanmar, or Burma, with a group studying Buddhist and Christian approaches to nonviolent social change. I anticipated learning a lot about approaches to organizing and from spending 3 silent days at a meditation center. But in the end, I actually learned even more about resistance and joy. Since that time, there's been a military takeover, and atrocities there are widespread. Within this context, it may seem strange to tell you what my friends in Myanmar taught me about joy. Sometimes it seems that way to me, but I've come to understand that they would still want me to share with you what they learned and in turn taught me. Their lessons might be even more important now. In Myanmar, I was deeply affected by witnessing trauma and deep pain from scars from decades of violence and abuse and trauma. Trauma that is deeply ingrained in multiple generations that have only grown up ever knowing war. One friend told me about growing up in the mountains, where his Chin ethnic minority suffered overt violence and was deprived of economic options, educational opportunities, and health care in a system deeply rigged against them. I learned about his work with survivors of war and human trafficking, promoting Christian, Buddhist, Muslim interfaith dialogue, and working with the gay community. As you might imagine, these are very dangerous areas to work in. 2 friends from another ethnic minority, the Po Karen, told me about their people's decades-long rebellion and how they work with youth from their villages on reclaiming their language and dances, all while trying to heal wounds from decades of violence and traumatic experiences. At that time, the military government had only stopped fighting in the Po Karen a few years before, and at the time, they maintained an actively oppressive presence around Po Karen areas, a fact that was made clear when we were stopped at an unmarked checkpoint on the way to visit their village. My friends spoke of their people's collective and individual pain, the legacy of war, social cost, and the consequences of the peace process. But my friends also spoke of joy, and I witnessed joy every day and from almost every person I met, in everyday activities as well as in celebrations. And so, I began to understand more deeply joy as distinct from happiness, and how that joy helps people survive and resist. In that joy, there was no pretending that poverty and unexpected violence weren't present in every day and every hour. Sitting with a family in their shelter in a slum built in a wetland, they weren't happy about the circumstances that led them to live there or the sludge that they lived in. But there was a quiet pride in surviving and a joy in life. At the schools and churches I visited, people were conscious of the tenuousness of their situation, that violence might break out again anytime, as it has. that they might be the victims of it because they were promoting interfaith dialogue or preserving their culture. But there was determination and fierce, quiet joy in the work and the healing and in simply being. Circumstances didn't stop joy, and they didn't stop the cultivation of joy. When I asked my friends about this, they spoke of being unwilling to let joy be crushed out of them, or to let oppressors use their anger and pain as tools to further divisions. Joy can function as a form of resistance. In Myanmar, I started to understand more deeply that joy is not happiness. Happiness depends on circumstances. Joy is an attitude of our hearts and minds and souls. It sustains us in ways that happiness cannot. And it can be cultivated even in the most dire circumstances. And when we do cultivate joy, it can sustain us in a way that nothing else can, particularly when we do not allow joy to push out feelings of anger and sorrow, when we hold them all. That is what my friends taught me in Myanmar. Joy is an attitude of our deepest selves. It can nourish us, sustain us, and be a potent form of resistance. The past few years, here in Iowa, we have struggled with deepening institutionalized oppression. As we've done so, Myanmar's teachings about joy have come home to me in new ways, and I've looked into what I've learned there. I found that research is bearing out and expanding upon what my friends taught me. Research is showing that there is a difference between how positive and negative empathy function in our hearts and in our minds. Negative empathy helps us feel another person's pain or anger or grief, or identify with their experience of injustice. Negative empathy helps us want to help another person's pain stop and prompts us to act to help them avoid more suffering. This is good. This is very, very good. But that's as far as it tends to go. We help someone return to or get to a neutral level where they're not actively hurting, and we're done. Positive empathy allows us to feel another person's joy, happiness, love, or empowerment. Positive empathy helps us want to help others thrive and flourish. It helps us focus on helping others not simply stop hurting, but actually have opportunities for personal growth and to achieve their own goals. Empathic joy helps us stay engaged with life when things are difficult. A scientist, Kelly McGonigal, who you can read about in our bibliography for today's service, says it's not just a practice of celebrating and amplifying the good, it also allows us to sustain hope when we face the reality of suffering unrelieved and needs yet unmet. Let me say that again. Positive empathy is not just a practice of celebrating and amplifying the good. It allows us to sustain hope when we face the reality of suffering unrelieved and needs yet unmet. In other words, cultivating positive empathy, that is working on catching others' joy, peace, love, and empowerment, seems to make compassion and compassionate actions more sustainable over time. This is good. This is very good. What's more, cultivating gratitude helps nourish well-being and can even help people heal emotionally and mentally from trauma. Much of the gratitude that seems to help people heal is about relationship or being able to help others. It's gratitude for being part of community. And while the healing effects of gratitude may not appear for months, they're long-term. And that long-term bit is significant because we're in this for the long haul. right? Whether we're talking about healing, trauma, or working for racial, ecological, gender, and other types of justice, we are in this for the long haul. And so we've got to be able to sustain our work. Burning out or coming to a place where we're stuck and feeling helpless or hopeless isn't a great option. We certainly might need to feel and voice our anger to get us to help the hurting stop. And make no mistake, the hurting does need to stop. But we can't stop there. We know that we are all connected. Our liberation is bound up together. We want all of us to be able to survive and thrive, to grow spiritually, to deepen in our journeys, to develop fully as human beings. Our religious heritage teaches us this, even if we have not always lived up to our beliefs. Our values speak the truth of this. And cultivating joy, celebration, and play, even while we hold the legacy of pain, gently yet firmly, helps us in this sacred work. May we catch joy within our justice work and in relationship. May we cultivate those things that nourish our compassion and loving kindness. We need this for ourselves and our neighbors, for this beautiful and sacred web of life. Because we're in this together for the long haul. So may it be. Amen. And blessed be.
Whew. I'm ready to cultivate joy with you all. How we give, what we do with our lives, our time, our resources, is a reflection of our values. In response to the abundance we are blessed with, every week this congregation donates generously to organizations in the community who is doing the work that aligns with our values and principles. Our community partner agency this month is the South District Neighborhood Association of Iowa City. This is a nonprofit that sponsors the Diversity Market, among other community events. The market, held in the Pepperwood Plaza during the summer months, empowers minority entrepreneurs, including women, youth, those in the Black, Indigenous, Latinx, Asian, LGBTQ+, refugee, immigrant, and returning citizen communities. In the sanctuary, ushers will collect the offering. All cash contributions go directly to our community partner agency and the Community Common Fund. You can follow the instructions on the screen to give online, and if you're writing a check, please use the memo line to designate the purpose. In addition to assisting our community partner, you can contribute towards your pledge or make a gift to support our operating expenses. The offering is a sign of commitment to this free congregation, which is completely supported by the generosity of all those who join us. As we give and receive the offering, may we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts.
Sing out a joyful song, sing and shout out a joyful new song.
May what has been shared today help us more fully affirm our interconnection and live into love and justice, maybe just joy. Immediately after the service, we'll gather in the fellowship hall for conversation and community, and today we'll welcome our new members. If you're a newcomer today, we hope you'll grab a snack and sit down at a table so that folks can join you for conversation. For those who'd like to share their joys or sorrows in conversation in a smaller venue, the Pastoral Care Associates will be leading a Compassionate Connection Circle in the Walnut Room immediately after today's worship service.
Our closing hymn for this morning is number 311, Let It Be a Dance. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
Please join me in saying the words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again.
As you go out into the world this day and this week and these months, may you go catching joy and finding your ways to nourish it as a source of resistance for yourself and our greater community. Go in peace, love, and justice, living love ever more fully and fiercely into this world. Amen, and blessed be.